A sexual wellness vacation? Oh, yeah. That's exactly the type of trip I'm looking for. What is up, sapiosexuals? Thank you for turning on Sex in South Beach with your girl, Dr. Sonjia, America's sex educator. And I'm super excited today because we are going to be talking about sexual wellness vacations. And we have the master herself. I am so excited to have Pamela Madsen join us today. She is the founder of Back to the Body, which is the world's leading sexual wellness retreat. And the thing I'm really excited about is there's actually been scientific research done and published about the value of her retreats on transforming someone's sexual perspective and getting back their sexual groove. Thank you so much, Pamela, for being here today. I'm super excited to chat with you.
It's my pleasure. And, putting a focus on sexuality in general, and in particular, women's power through the erotic has never been more important than it is right now.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. So can you tell us a little bit about Back to the Body?
Absolutely. I founded Back to the Body 15 years ago. Like I do with most things in my life. Like I went through infertility, and then I founded the American Fertility Association and passed laws for fertility coverage, and actually did a lot of work around LGBTQ parenting. I did a work called The Path to Parenthood Isn't Always Straight. And then I also did the first study of what women know about their biological clock. And that's how you know that you have one, is because I did a really huge study of 17,000 women from around the world, from the Uganda to the UK to New Orleans. And that's how you know about your biological clock, is that we educated women that your fertility actually begins to decline at 27. And that was big news. And
wow.
I segued from that. So I understood at that point, after doing work in fertility, that a lot of women had a tremendous disconnect between baby making and their sexuality. And there was also a lot of body distrust, betrayal. A lot of women experience body betrayal around their sexuality because, let's say, they're trying to get pregnant and it's not happening. So they have a desire, but their body is saying something else.
And when a woman feels body betrayal, how does that impact her sensual side?
Well, think about this as a sort of a global issue, right? So there's body betrayal, and then there's we don't trust ourselves. So body betrayal can happen anywhere from infertility to fibroids to breast cancer, right? It's like what your body does, it's not in alignment with what you would want for your general health. And so when we don't trust our own bodies, it's hard to actually, it sounds like I'm repeating myself. It's hard to embody your body if you don't trust your body. It's hard to even have, like I talk to women a lot about body neutrality. Like everyone wants you to love your body. You turn on social media and you're like blasted with love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. Well, great. Can we start with not hating ourselves? Can we start with being friendly? Can we get body friendly? Can we be neutral about certain aspects of our bodies?
So you're proposing, rather than going from a place where I'm not happy with my body, and I know this is really common. A lot of women are like, oh, I wish this was here or higher or lower or bigger or smaller, and my body isn't able to get pregnant, or I'm dealing with fibroids, as you said, or maybe you have cervical issues or cervical cancer or breast cancer, and you might not trust your body anymore. And you're proposing, rather than go from that state to all of a sudden, I love my body, just sort of a staged approach, like body neutrality. Can we just not hate our bodies first?
Right? Can we be friendly? Like, can we be friendly to this little body that we have? And so supporting women in titrating their embodied experience. And then there's the whole thing about, well, that's one aspect where women get stuck. I saw a young man walking down the street with a T-shirt that said, "Your body, my choice." Ooh. This was yesterday. Oh, your body, my choice. And so we're like in a political look. Women only have been able to get credit for like the last 20 or 30 years on their own without a husband's signature. So understand that women come from this land of being commodified and controlled, and our sexuality is commodified and has been controlled, and now we're back in that space again. And we're also trying to teach women to be sovereign in their sexuality. We're trying to teach women to find their voice. We're trying to, right? Like all this was happening 30 seconds ago, where we were dealing with the old patriarchal models. And here we are again, where a young man can walk down the street and wear a T-shirt that says, "Your body, my choice." So women are constantly inundated, like from the past, in epigenetic land, in grandma land, with our own, body betrayals. And then there's like this overarching climate that we're in now, where other people, basically older white men, are now saying that they will make the right choices for us. So we're in this climate, and so we need to acknowledge that that women are getting a lot of negative reinforcement around trusting their own bodies. And our job is to call Bodinky on that and to help women drop into their physical body, find their sovereignty in their bodies. And when they can do that, then they can name their sexual pleasure. Then they can name their desires. I had a woman recently here, and this is not a new story, where she came from her session and she looked at me with tears in her eyes and she said, "Nobody has ever asked me before what I wanted."
Wow.
Nobody has ever asked.
I've heard that far too many times too. Some of my colleagues here, I'm a professor of medicine, and I have female colleagues with children who have never experienced an orgasm, and their partner has no clue. So I think the type of education and training that you provide is so critically important, because I know medical professionals who have never been able to experience sexual pleasure. So I think that the type of training that you provide is so important, because it's your orgasm. Own it. It's your responsibility. You're accountable for your own orgasm. So when we're in situations where someone isn't asking us what we want, we have to acknowledge that we've actually never been, society doesn't encourage us.
No, in fact, society historically and presently is trying to close our mouths and, painting a story about how we should be functioning. What we do here is like really simple and really complicated, is that we reconnect women to their pleasure. And so how does that happen, right? So first of all, you have to provide women with a beautiful environment. We have to take them out of where they live.
Okay, and I agree. I want to put a pin on this. I want to tell people a little bit more about you. What is a somatic? Because you are a somatic bodywork sexologist. And so a lot of people may not know exactly what that is. In your team, you work with these team of experts who work with you, who are also somatic sexology experts. So what does that mean? So
soma means through the body,
right?
Through the body. So our work is somatic. It is through touch, sound, voice, breath, and movement. Those are the 5 pillars of what we do. So we work with touch, we work with movement, we work with, the senses.
All of the senses, right? You touch the learners, the participants, right? And that come to your retreats. Okay, now I want to try to get you back to where you were going, because I saw that look in your eyes. You're like, first we have to remove women from their setting, put them in a beautiful environment. And I 100% agree, because when we're at home or in our setting, we can't turn our brains off, whether it's work or kids or housing or whatever we're focused on.
And so absolutely. So it's about, first of all, removing hypervigilance.
Yes.
So you can't be hypervigilant and feel turned on, unless that's a sexy scene. And that's a whole other story, right? So, and we can provide that. But, general hypervigilance is just not a turn on. And so we create an environment where women actually don't have to manage anything. So like they can put down their backpack or their Prada bag, just put it down. And we have it handled, like from the private chefs to their schedules. They need a towel, they need a face mask. It's like, it's all here for them. And we also do something else that's very, very particular. We remove mate competition. So like you go on vacation, right? So maybe you're a single woman and you go on vacation and you go with some girlfriends.
Yes.
And there's a hot guy. And then everyone is like jockeying for position.
Competing for his gaze.
Everyone's competing. And then that creates disruption in the sisterhood. So every woman comes into the retreat knowing who her practitioner is. Every woman gets the same thing. There is no competition. That's gone. And so then women start to heal their relationship with other women. So you mentioned this study that was not done by us. It was done by Widener University. They used us because they wanted to study the effects of somatic work with women, and they needed a repeatable model. I have a repeatable model, a recipe. And so they were very careful on choosing retreats that were just like the other. And those are the women that they studied. And the number 2 thing that women got out of the retreats was healing their relationship with other women. Like you would think would be their orgasm, right? But it's sisterhood becomes a very big deal. Like women actually make friends with other women. And they don't compete with other women, and they support other women. I have women dancing to the sounds of other women's orgasms as they walk past a treatment room. It's just a very different feeling. It's like the red tents of old days where women were sharing erotic power together. The sessions are with certified practitioners who are certified by outside agencies, but then go through my training program. And they sign contracts with us. They keep their clothes on. They do not date. Sure.
So let's set the stage. So your retreats are held in Italy, California, and where else?
Well, they are in Joshua Tree, where we have a new property. And then we're doing a couple of international a year. So you could find us in Sicily or Panama or Thailand. We have been everywhere. We've been in South Africa, and we have been in Scotland. It's like Paris last year. So, if you want an international retreat, you can find one. If you want to stay in the US and come to our property in Joshua Tree, you can have that too. So it just depends on what you want and how you want to travel.
So I decide I want to go on back to the body on my sexual wellness retreat. I decide I want to go to, let's say, Sicily. And so I pick that one. I fly to Italy, and we get off the plane. I get off the plane. Tell me about this experience. I'm greeted by your team when I arrive to Italy, and how many other women are going to be at this retreat?
Well, I'm going to back you up a little bit, if I may.
Okay. Yes,
you sign up for that retreat. You sign up for that retreat. And then you fill out an intake form. And you fill out consent forms. And then you meet your practitioner. And you have an hour Zoom call with your practitioner. And then you have a welcome call with all the women and all the practitioners and the coordinator. And then you receive a playbook in the mail, which you will take with you, which is a gorgeous book. I don't have one to show you, which will take you through the retreat with exercises and places for you to journal and all of that. And then you will be hooked into our coordinator who will support you. She won't make your travel plans for you, but she'll support you in where you should go, and a hotel that all the women are going to be arriving into, which you pay for separately. But we coordinate all that, and then we help arrange transportation from that hotel, or if you're coming right from the airport, which we wouldn't recommend. We would recommend if you're going to Sicily that you would come in a day or two early, and we would recommend a hotel, and there would be other women, and there'd be a WhatsApp group, and you would be talking and knowing and making plans. Where are we going to go for dinner when we arrive in Sicily? And then you will come to the retreat center, and then you will have a welcome ceremony, and we start our workshops and our containers and our rituals, and then you'll see a live demo, and you'll see what's possible on the table and the kind of work that we do. Because some women learn by reading, and some women learn by seeing. And it's very different to see a real woman on the table communicating and receiving pleasure. And we work with a one-way touch model. So the women are opening to receiving, not giving. So most women erotically are givers.
Right.
And so they don't know very much about their own erotic potential because they're working on a patriarchal model that says, you're wet, I'm hard, let's do it. And what's true is that women actually need between 30 minutes and 90 minutes for their vulva to fully flush with blood, to really experience expanded full body arousal and peaking of pleasure, to possible climax or, and or ejaculation. And women normally don't get that. They don't get to actually learn how to receive. They don't learn how to communicate to a partner what feels good. How do you say that? That doesn't feel good. It's not like hitting somebody's hand, right? And saying, no, not like that.
So
that's not how we do it.
So it's not just learning what sort of touches feel good and learning how to receive pleasure. It's also really developing the self-efficacy to communicate what you like or don't like in a sensual setting, which I think is extremely important. I've worked with so many couples. They've been together for so long. And like this one guy is like, oh my God, she hasn't liked that for 16 years. She's just been enduring that. Right. She really did not have the capacity to tell him that she didn't like it. So that is great.
And this is such a common story, doctor. I mean, this just goes on and on. And so, and what's also true is that she may not know.
Right.
She may not know what she actually likes, because nobody ever actually asked her or gave her the time to explore that. And it's very different to explore this with a professional than with your husband or with your lover, with the father of your children. I mean, this is somebody who you don't pay bills with. This is somebody who's not in a romantic relationship with you. This is someone who is basically your erotic coach and who is like supporting you in finding what feels good, supporting you in a way that you're safe. Like his magic wand is staying in his pants. There's not going to be like, and we did this, and now this is usually where the women want to touch my magic wand. Like that doesn't happen at my retreats. The men stay totally closed. It's one-way touch. When we do genital touch, the men wear gloves. We are, there's a lot of freedom within our boundaries, but we have boundaries. And one of the biggest boundaries as well is that we don't date our clients. We don't have romantic relationships with our clients. And so women are able to come to programs and not like burn down their house. They're not jeopardizing their relationships. In fact, they're going to enhance their relationships because they're going to go home with new skills. And, we have women who leave here and they get married or they get a divorce or they haven't dated in 30 years and now they're dating and now they have a new lover. It's like People change careers, they move across the country. It's amazing what happens when women claim their erotic sovereignty. Like everything changes for them.
And so when the experts are doing touch and with gloves, is it like a yoni massage for, I know that word has been really populated in recent years, and I've done some interviews with yoni massage experts, and I've been approached about yoni massage guides. And while I think it's a valuable way to explore sensual pleasure, and I'm glad that it has a name that has really resonated with people, I'm wondering, is there a difference between what your healers do and what someone might call yoni massage?
Oh, yeah. So first of all, we work with a woman's entire body, okay? Like you have erogenous zones everywhere. And so it's not just about the button between your legs. Okay. And before you get to that button between your legs, we want that whole body to be aroused. We want you moving, and, you may be dancing before you get on the table, right? You may be moving and pressing. You may want to wrestle on the mats with your practitioner. We have all kinds of ways to move erotic energy, right? It's not just about getting to the place where you're getting this or this. Right, like ooh, yeah, that happens.
It's about the brain.
It's about feeling your whole body. I mean, women, our clitoris is internal, as you know. I mean, all they see, you see the external butt of the clitoris, and you have clitoral legs. I mean, my inner thighs have my clitoral legs run down to my inner thighs. So if somebody is not like playing with my inner thighs, if they're not playing with above my pubic bone, if they're not playing with my butt, if they're not reaching up to my breasts and pulling my body all the way down, if I'm not getting on my knees and moving and making sounds, then, it's kind of lost on me. Like you just want to lay down and have someone do that. Okay, fine. But there's a much bigger embodied experience that is available to ourselves. And, it's like your toes are incredibly, has anyone ever sucked your toes? I mean, or bitten the bottoms of the soles of your feet and taken claws and scratched them slowly down your body. The erotic experience for women is so much more than just focus on our vulvas. The same thing for dudes. It's really not different. And we just don't give ourselves the time to fully feel all that. And so do women get genital touch? Absolutely. If they are wanting genital touch, they get genital touch. Do we have all the things? Yes, we have all the things. And, it's all available. I mean, what is also true is that, those parts, there are workshops and there are women's groups and there's excursions and there's a private chef and there's hot tubs and heated pools and, other kinds of experiences that women get on retreat, breath work or shadow work. Maybe they want to explore various kinds of fantasies that they may have held shame around, and being able to integrate fantasy in a non-shameful way into their erotic lives. And so we also work with women who've had sexual trauma and who need support, have had violence done against their bodies. And I've supported some of the best known sex educators in the country because everyone needs a place to come and explore their bodies. And so, yes, we have doctors. Yes, we have sexperts. Yes, lawyers. We have all the people. We have wives and single women, and they come from all kinds of demographics, and we have international clients, and we have movie stars, and I sign NDAs. And so, it's, we're kind of one of a kind. We've been around for a long time. And I think that we do so well, and we're always sold out.
Wow.
And you talked about getting bigger. I don't know that I can get bigger. I do 10 retreats a year, and we do private retreats. And all I know is that we're at capacity almost all the time. Women who come to our programs often will buy ahead. So if they come to a program and it's amazing for them, they will say, okay, and then show me the calendar for next year.
That was also some really interesting data that I saw about your retreats. Was it something like a 95% return rate of people?
97, but who's bragging?
Yes. Oh, wow. That's incredible. So women invest not only the first time, and what you said is it's a wide array of women who go, who are single women, who are wives, who are lawyers, who might be a sex expert. But it's a wide range of people who attend these retreats, and you have a 97% return rate because the attendees know how valuable they are and that they're almost always sold out, so that they have to book ahead. That's incredible.
Some of them book a year in advance. Well, thank you.
Incredible.
It is incredible. It is incredible, and the age range is between 27 and 92.
What a gift. Yes, 27 to
every
92.
generation, every decade. And so women, like the last retreat that we just held here, I had a 30-year-old woman and an 86-year-old woman here.
Wow.
And so, and that 86-year-old woman is like on her 8th retreat. She comes because she's healed past trauma, and she's having the frickin' time of her life. And she comes and she plays and she gets fed and she expands and she has a holiday that includes her whole body and friendship and sisterhood and eroticism. And she doesn't have to compete against anybody. Like, she's going to get her slice of cake.
Right. She's not going out without getting it. I love that. And I really like the idea of the younger women going to the retreats as well. The women in, like you said, 27, 30 years old, because if you can, when you're really entering that phase of adulthood, when you're building the foundation for really the rest of your life, how cool is it that you can go in knowing and owning your body and your pleasure, and having not only some training in communicating about what you like and understanding how your body can receive pleasure, but how wonderful to also have this ongoing resource so a 30-year-old woman can come back for the rest of her life and continue expanding. So when she's an 86-year-old woman, it's on. I mean, I think that's really, really, I think what an incredible gift for some of the younger women to also attend this and to build their life with this type of training and knowledge and skill.
Yeah, like menopause is a bullshit term. It's menosexual, menoplay, menohot.
Well, let's talk about this, because that's the average age of your participants is 50, right? So
between 40 and 60. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal age range. So I love your take on it, that this is like menosexual, menopassion.
It is the best time of your life, baby, because women aren't worried. So here's what happens in those 20 years between 40 and 60. What happens is women actually have a moment to take a breath. So by the time they're 40, and for sure by the time they're 50, they have established their careers. They have figured out more or less where they are in their marital status. They're married or they're divorced or they're whatever they are, but they kind of know who they are in a relationship. Right. Children, if they had children, are in college or launched and gone.
Right.
And hopefully they have financial sovereignty. And which doesn't have to mean that they're rich. It means that they understand their money. And and they're not frightened of spending their money on themselves. Like, it's okay actually to take care of yourself. and to give to yourself. And so what happens is women in that age group kind of come to that understanding that they're actually entitled to have vacations, to spend money on themselves, to not take all this erotic energy with them to their grave. Like they want to figure this shit out. Like all the stuff they've read about for all these damn years, they want to actually experience it. Right?
Right.
It's great to read about it in a novel, but what about my body and what can my body do and what's my potential? And then to be with people who are especially trained, who are Epicurean touchers.
Wow.
Epicurean, men who, and we also have female practitioners, men or women who actually know how to communicate with female bodies. And we understand that every garden is a different garden. And we know that. But they have a lot of experience in gardening. So, if this isn't the right path for you, then they know about that path or that path or that path. And they don't get hurt.
Right.
So if something is not working for you, they want to know it, and they'll check in, and they'll notice if you've checked out. And erotic trance state is different than checking out.
Okay, tell me about the erotic trance state.
Before your climax, if you can have an hour of arousal, an hour of breath and sound and movement and pleasure, you will lose track of time. You will. It's like the magic mushroom is in your body. All of those neurochemicals, you become a soup. And women actually can have very deep spiritual experiences. Women can channel. Women have all kinds of experiences and releases in that time where they actually go into trance states. And yes, climaxes happen and orgasms happen. I just sometimes wonder if we're confusing language. So you can be in an orgasmic state for 2 hours.
Right.
And then have a climax. And it's that orgasmic state that is so rare for women, because most women are on that choo-choo train of, I have 5 minutes, maybe 10, if I'm going to come.
Absolutely.
And I want so much more. There's so much more to our erotic bodies, that in our erotic potential, in our pleasure ceiling, that women can access if they're given the time and the space to actually do that. And real healing happens for women. And I don't believe that anyone's broken. And so I sometimes worry about the word healing. And then I worry about the word transformation, because it's sort of you can go have a big experience, doctor, and feel I'm transformed. I've had this huge experience and I'm transformed. And that will last for as long as it lasts. I'm really deep into stage shifts. So to get a woman into a different stage, it's more than that moment of transformation. It's a longer process, which is why I do immersion. It's why when you said, so I get off the airplane and what happens? And I said, actually, it's before you get on the airplane. And then it's what happens when the retreat finishes. And so we don't just say, thank you. Thank you for spending money with us. Thank you for coming on our retreat. And have a nice day. I hope all is well for you. That's not what we do. We have ongoing free support groups for women. I have psychotherapists that provide free support groups for women, pop-up workshops for women that I pay for and that is available for them.
So once you're part of the Back to the Body tribe, you have access to this ongoing, no-cost support to keep you on your sensual, your pleasure-filled progression, your journey
Absolutely.
to more and more pleasure.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back and quickly clarify the trance state. One of the things I've always preached is that, the orgasm is sort of the culmination of desire. You have an orgasm, it's over.
Yes.
But how do we
Yes.
make desire last? And that is really a key component to sensuality and maintaining your sensual energy is how can we keep a sense of desire, or how can we expand the time that we have for desire, because it is so hard and we're busy and most of us do have 5 minutes to get it done before we have to do something else. And so what I'm hearing is that your retreats actually not only provide an opportunity for women to take as long as they want to explore what brings pleasure to them, but also really learning that desire is equally as important, if not more important, than the climax, or being able to be in this state of feeling turned on, aroused, right? Aroused. Yes. Exactly. Of being
the goal is actually to be able to walk around in your life in a state of turn on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to use that erotic energy to do podcasts, to build the community, to cook, to be with your people. And that erotic energy is our power source. And so by connecting women back to their full erotic power source, they are expanding their lives. And, one of the tags we use is that we're not a sex school, we're a self school. Because I want women to, my goal is to help women find their wholeness in themselves and find their own unique expression, and to be able to walk around in the world and be a light. And a woman who is walking around in arousal all the time, turned on, alive. She talks to people. She makes eye contact with people. She's friendly. She makes money. She's entrepreneurial. She's loving. She attracts people to her by her light, which is coming from our root. And when we block it up and there isn't this flow, right?
You're talking about the chakras. You're talking about the chakra energy of sensual. Yeah. I'm like, yes, right from, learning to trust her body, beginning with the root chakra, really building that trust and the pleasure from her sacral chakra, really honing into that pleasure center. I hear you all day. Yeah, I think this is amazing.
Well, we teach women a tool called lotus lift meditation.
Okay.
And I'll name drop. Oprah really likes it. So that's what got me on Oprah twice, and in her magazine several times. And Cosmopolitan just featured Lotus Lift. So Lotus Lift meditation is a skill that we teach women, which involves basically just taking your hand, pretty simple, sitting on it, like in your clothes, just sitting on it.
So do you place your hand, are your fingers going this way? So
that way.
You put your hand right in between your legs, and the heel of your hand is going to be right.
I'm not tall enough. I'm going to move my camera.
Where your pubic bone is. Yeah. Okay.
Right there. And then I'm going to sit down. Boom.
Okay.
And then what's going to happen is I'm going to rock. And I like to put my hand on my heart and cup my vulva. And I'm just going to rock. And you can just close your eyes, doctor, if you want to, and all you out there in podcast land. And you would close your eyes and you would rock until you start to feel warm. And arousal can feel like tingling. It can feel like heat. You'd like, oh, I'm starting to feel horny. Like, what's that feeling? And you're just moving that energy. And then what I do is I use Deepak Chopra's 3 soul questions, which is, who am I? What do I want? What's getting in my way? And we work those questions. And you can do this yourself take your phone and record your voice and just say, who am I? And keep rocking. Who am I? Who am I? And allow yourself to really breathe that in. And then what do you want? And then what's getting in your way? And you can do this as a daily exercise, as a quickie, which is, who am I today? So when you wake up in the morning and you start your rocking practice, who am I today? Well, today I'm a teacher. Great. What do I want today? Oh, I want to go to Palm Springs today and I want to have sushi for lunch. Great. Right. What's getting in your way? Oh, God, I have too many appointments. Oh, well, can you cancel some? Right. Yes. I can move those appointments and I could go to Palm Springs today, sushi. And so whatever it is, and then using your arousal to like bring that through, like really feeling into your body. And what's true is that many of the religions out there use rocking and arousal as a way to communicate to God. Absolutely. And I'm not making this up. So if you want to look at Orthodox Jews, how do they pray? They're dovening, they're rocking. Right now, they're not holding their genitals, but they are rocking their pelvic floor. And you want to look at, the whirling dervishes. Let's just take another religion, and they are rocking. And then there are the Shakers, which is an offshoot of the Quakers, and they made rocking chairs, and they were celibate. And they basically locked themselves out of existence, but they were rocking. They were rocking and talking to God. And go into any Baptist church and you'll see people and they are moving their bodies and they are shaking their hips and they're moving. And what they're doing is they're stimulating their arousal. Right. And they may not be aware that they're stimulating their arousal, but it's all about the pelvis. And so they are using arousal energy to connect to source. Whatever that means to you. And you can use the Lotus Left meditation. It's free. I just gave it to you, So if you want a whole guide, go to my website. We give it away for free. But it's really simple. It's just cupping your vulva and rocking and feeling into your arousal. And it's like your own vitamin thing. I know everything's like the P shot and the O shot. Well, I'm going to give you like a P shot. Okay, it's your pleasure shot. It's your arousal shot. And it doesn't cost you any money. And you can do it every single day and light up your day and make it like a day planner. Absolutely. Who am I today, body? Oh, I'm a mother today. Okay, all right, that's what I'm doing today. What do I want? I want to spend time with my children today. Great. What's getting in my way? Right. I love it. What a great daily meditation, actually, just to set your day on track and give you that 3 to 5 minutes of space. And also, why not, ignite a little sensual energy? I think that's awesome. You get all your you get your dopamine, you get your serotonin, you get your oxytocin, you get everything moving because it all starts from there and moves up. And so you want to take your daily vitamin? Well, give yourself 5 minutes and give yourself a good rocking. So how long, before I like to close out, I want to try to summarize a couple of things before we close out, but I want to know specifically how long are the retreats so that the listeners can know how to plan. I know a lot of women out there, they're planning it right now. All right, so there's a couple of choices, but most of them are a week long. Okay. Because the recipe is 7 days. Okay. And we do what we call a portal event, which is a long weekend. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, low cost event where it could be residential or non-residential for them to come and see a live demo and participate in some workshops and have some somatic experiences. They won't be getting on the table, but they will be receiving somatic tools. They'll be getting their feet wet. They'll be meeting the team, and they will leave with tools and perhaps a new perspective. And you can have a 3-day vacation in Joshua Tree and connect with yourself in a whole new way, and then decide if you want to go on a retreat, because they can sign up for retreats at the portal. 3 days for a portal. We run those twice a year. And then the regular retreat, count on 8 days, or even putting away 10 days, because you want to travel, you want to land wherever you are. And then you may want to give yourself a day after the retreat to integrate. Some of the women hang out afterwards. They'll go to a hotel, they'll go out for dinner. I want women to get as much as they can from every experience that they have with us.
Awesome. Awesome. So I loved our conversation, and I definitely want to invite you back. And I try to end every episode with a little summary, so you guys know what time it is. It is time for your climax. So these are the most important things that I can remember about Back to the Body Retreats. Is one, you're not only going to learn about what you like sexually, ladies, and from a holistic, all of your senses perspective. So not just your vulva, vaginal region, but you're gonna, what sort of maybe smells, sounds, which erogenous zones that you may have never explored before. You're gonna learn all about how your physical body responds to different sorts of stimuli, but you're also gonna be able to improve your ability to receive pleasure and communicate to your future partners what you like or don't like in terms of sensual pleasure. And two, it's really, really focused on feeling your entire body. Unlike other sexual training types of programs that really focus on the reproductive organs, this is really focused on what is your body's ultimate potential everywhere in your body, from your arms, your fingers, your feet, your toes, your brain, your ears. What is your entire body's sexual potential? So learning about feeling through your whole body. And I know from the data that's been published that women who leave your retreats actually improve their relationships with their partners. So when partnered women go to your retreats, when they leave, they end up using all of the trainings that they have gone through to improve their relationships with their partners. And what I also loved is it not only improves their relationships with their partners, but it improves their relationships with other women. It strengthens their love for the sisterhood and reignites their passion for really being an active member of the sisterhood. And most of all, these retreats really help women between 40 and 60 learn to reframe menopause into menoplay. And I think that's a great time. We're living long, fun-filled, exciting lives. So we have the potential to transform the middle of our lives into a new stage and a new phase of reaching our ultimate pleasure potential. And I think that's so great. So where can people find you, Pamela? And where can people find Back to the Body Retreats? Tell us what your socials are.
Sure. Well, the website is easy. It's backtothebody.org. And they can find me on all the socials at the Pamela Madsen on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm Pamela Madsen. I'm verified on all those places. And Back to the Body also has an Instagram. They just go to mine. Go to at the Pamela Madsen on Instagram. You'll find everything you need. And if you go to the website directly, there's a pleasure quiz that you can take, and that will give you tons of resources. And so we do a lot of free stuff. And if you like to learn and you want inspiration, I publish every day. So
awesome.
Just
and I hope some of you. Are they going to, or do you do any publications? Do any of your posts remind us to do our rocking session in the morning? A little, remember, ladies, you got your little 5-minute rocking session, right? Who am I?
It's called Lotus Lift meditation. And if you take the pleasure quiz, I believe you get it for free. You get a guided way of getting your morning rock in.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you guys for out there listening. Thank you so much for turning on Sex in South Beach today for your daily dose of Nookie knowledge. You know where to find me. It's Dr. Sonjia, DrSonjia on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Come on, baby. What are you waiting for? I know you want to link up. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I loved learning so much about Back to the Body retreats. And watch out, listeners, you might find me at one if you sign up too. And I had so much fun talking to you today. And I can't wait to do it again next time on Sex and South Beach. Thank you. Where everyone comes for happier, healthier sex. Have you tried Sense Aromatherapy Body Oil? I wear it every day because Sense hydrates skin, smells incredible, and attracts romantic attention with an essential oil blend proven to stimulate feelings of pleasure. It also stops mosquitoes from biting your beautiful body because being eaten should feel good. Smell good, feel good with Sense Aromatherapy Body Oil. Get yours on Amazon or sensebodyoil.com. That's SENSE bodyoil.com.